If you're serious about starting a business, we can show you how. If you need document preparation assistance or probate filing, we can help. Hello, my name is Marie Wolf of Wolf Core Training Academy and the Wolf Corporation. Every week, we'll be introducing one of our clients to the community in hopes that they'll be able to provide a professional service and inspire. If you have a business or a story you would like to tell, please reach out to me today at 1-800-279-6384 or at consult@wolf-core.com. That's consult at wolfe-torp.com. We would love to interview you. Today, we will be introducing one of our clients, Ishmael Josiah of Ingenuity Security Solutions LLC. Ishmael, thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Marie, for this opportunity, for allowing me to come on your platform. As you stated, and also to the audience, my name is Ishmael Josiah. I'm the owner, CEO of Ingenuity Security Solutions. Here at Ingenuity Security Solutions, our main goal is to educate and the general public. So my background, I'm a federal law enforcement officer, prior service military veteran. And I see that stuff that we took for granted, like simple stuff, like first aid, AD training, handgun training, active shooter training, and any training that we need for the general public to be prepared for what's ahead. We don't, because nobody knows what's gonna happen and when it's gonna happen. So here at Ingenuity Security Solutions, our plan or our goal is to make sure we're training and equipping the general public so they are ready for any and everything that comes your way. So.
Wow, and that's so important, especially with everything that's going on especially with what we have witnessed recently, which really took all of us by storm. Another question for you: what is Ingenuity Security Services, and what are the products and services provided by the company?
So, Ingenuity Security Solutions, we wear four hats. So our duty, first and foremost, is to train. Also, when it comes to training, we focus on doing the, like I stated in the beginning, we do the handgun training. So we educate people on handgun safety, how to use the handgun, the laws and everything that pertains to whatever states they live in. So we do that. We do the handgun training aspect. We train security personnel, regular civilians who want to own firearms. We also do the medical aspect, CPR, first aid, AED, stop the bleed. We do all of that. We do that training. We also focus on self-defense training for women men, or anybody that is willing, because a lot of people cannot carry guns. Not everybody can own a gun, but something is better than nothing. Knowing how to use your hands, knowing how to use OC spray, knowing how to use stand gun to defend yourself, because you might be in places where you can't carry a gun to, so you'll be able to do something, And last but not the least, we also focus on the awareness aspect. Because consulting, we can go to organizations, churches, offices, and show them how to go about protecting themselves. Should there be active shooter? Should there be anything like disorderly events going on at the workplace? So we do our best to cover anything safety. So even if you have an event going on, and you need somebody to come and do security for that, we cover that aspect too. So we're trying to have our hands in anything that will keep ourselves, keep the general public safe, and just keep pushing safety.
Yeah. And safety is so important. That's one thing you mentioned that I think most people take for granted. And I like that, you implement that fully in terms of what your company stands by is making sure that people safely know how to, utilize the tools that you're training them with. And the other thing I believe I heard you mention is that you also have a military background, which is wonderful. So you have many years experience, I take it.
Yes, ma'am. I did 12 years in the military. I was a member of the DC Air National Guard, where I served as a security forces specialist. So, as a security forces specialist, we are the Air Force equivalents of infantry, law enforcement, MP, anything that has to do with protection, security, law enforcement. We did all of that. So, like I stated in the beginning, stuff that we took for granted. When we in the military, it's just my job. I'm supposed to do it. This is what I need to do to make sure I'm safe, or my wingman is safe. I'm safe, or my battle body is safe. We took all this stuff for granted. When you come out in the civilian world, you're walking among people that don't know what to do. You're walking around people that the knowledge that you have, they don't. So why not? Why not teach? Because it might be me who fall down, and I want to make sure that the next person next to me is able and capable to do what it takes to save my life. Because knowledge is is powerful, and so why not? Why keep it to myself? Because the more people that I train, the more people that I teach, the more people that I impact, I'm basically having like a force multiplier, because it's more of us that are out there that can help save the next person's life. So why keep that knowledge to myself?
Right. And that is so appreciated that you feel that way, because there's so many people, especially with COVID, there are so many families that, had family members that were sick. They didn't know they were sick, or they had some other derivation that was similar to COVID, and they needed CPR. They needed to be able to know how to, stop their child, or their parent, or their spouse, or their sister or brother, from choking, or from just not breathing. And with the skills that you provide to the public that are needed skills, it gives them the opportunity to be able to make a difference. Or if in general, just not even a family member, but if you're, somewhere and somebody that you don't know needs the help. So I think that the services are very important. And
Uh, I always tell people, my clients, and anybody that is listening, or anybody that will give me a time of day.
yeah,
I always stress, you don't know when and where. Like a story that I told you in the beginning. The whole reason why I started focusing on doing this was one of my best friends, one of my great friends. We met in the military, and while we were getting ready to deploy, we shared rooms, so we were already close, but when we started sharing rooms, we became closer. So every day I see him on the phone talking to his brother all the time. They were that close. So when we were deployed, we went over a few months into our deployment. He got a call that his brother's been stabbed. Something like getting stabbed should not be something that people should die from if people know how to handle it. But because people didn't know how to handle something as simple as getting stabbed, his brother bled out. So I didn't actually tell him that till today. You witnessed me talking him on the phone.
yes,
That was my motivation. That was something that kept pushing. Like, it could be my relative, it could be somebody that is near and dear to me, right? So if I'm not present, I will like the next person available to know or have an idea of what to do to help save somebody's life. So for instance, in this house, in my house, my kids ranging from 14 or 11, they all know how to do CPR, because like I stated, something is always better than nothing, right? Because it could be me and my wife passing out at the same time. Before 911 gets here, or before the ambulance gets here, it's usually done and over with.
yeah,
Yeah. So you don't know when, you don't know where, you don't know when it's going to happen or who it's going to happen to. So it's best to be prepared, to be equipped. I'd rather be ready and not need than
yes.
need and I want and I have it, because there's there's nothing like being needy or being helpless. I mean, it's not a good feeling to be in where you are helpless. It's not a good feeling. So part of our mission here at Ingenuity is to make sure that we are equipping, we are training, and we're making sure that the number of helpless people, we are reducing that number. So we are equipping and having ourselves more able and ready people to help save a life, or even when it comes to using the firearm, help
Yes.
defend themselves. Because at the end of the day, by the time police or the ambulance shows up, usually it's too late. So why not?
I agree. And, in the news lately, we've seen that there have been quite a few accidents with people that it seems they weren't able to or didn't, train family members, within the home about the safety of the firearms. And I know that's something that you've always stressed, the safety of those within your home, knowing how to make sure that things are locked properly, they're put away, just the safety factors of it. How do you feel that your company can definitely assist those that already own firearms but don't use the proper safety measures?
So here at Ingenuity, this is what we stress in any of our class, or anytime you hear me or any of my assistants talk, we're gonna say, hey, having a firearm is like having is like a relationship, right? Because all of us understand relationship, and within each relationship, there's responsibilities that is required from any and everybody in that relationship. So part of that relationship is, if I want to have these firearms in my house for safety and protection, and for whatever it brings you to have that in your house, the peace of mind that it brings you, then you have to follow the guidelines. So the guidelines, if the four main safety rules that we follow is, hey, you're going to treat each and every weapon as if they're loaded. You know, for instance, when my son was a baby and he was playing with his water gun, or Nerf gun, or any gun that he's playing with, that mindset is already we already started in it, putting that mindset. Hey, don't, you know what I'm saying, treat it like it's loaded, point it in a safe direction. Do not point at anybody that you're not, you know what I'm saying, anything that you're not
Hmm.
willing to shoot. Why not? Why not? Let's start teaching them at a younger age. So treat every weapon like it's loaded. Point your weapon in a safe direction. Know
Hmm.
where your target is, what's beyond it, what's beside it, what's around it, anything that you need to know about your target. So if my target is right there at the wall, I need to know what's beyond my target. Because it's not because the person is standing right there, or whoever it is right there, that you're going to shoot. Maybe your kids in the room behind. Or is it a brick wall that when you shoot, it's not going to run through, or it's a dry wall? So you have to know that. And also, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. So with all these in mind, there's no such thing as accidental discharge, because you have to purposefully put your finger in the trigger. You have to purposefully squeeze the trigger for that gun to go off. So if you follow these four simple rules, you're good. And I also go ahead and add more to it, like, hey, do not horseplay with your gun, because hey, we are all
That's right.
adults. We are
That's
responsible
right.
adults. Do not show and tell, because it's not a toy,
That's right.
right? Do not, I always talk, when it's adult time, you put the kids away. So when alcohol, drugs, or any vices that individuals have, when you start indulging in those vices, put the gun away, because you need to have a clear conscience, you need to have clear mind, sound judgment before handling the firearm. And like I said, it's not a toy. It only comes out when it's time to defend the people that you love, when it's time to protect your house and the people that live in. And that is the only time the gun's supposed to come out. Or when it comes out, it's time when you're going to the range to practice. It's not a toy, and
Yes.
let's treat it as such. I also go ahead and tell people, anybody that comes to my class, Like any relationship, we all got a part to play. It is my responsibility as a gun owner to make sure that people that are not trained, right? People that are not trained, now I repeat it, people that are not trained or unauthorized to handle a firearm, it is my responsibility to make sure the weapon is not in their hand.
Right. Most
It is my
definitely.
responsibility to lock my gun up, right? It is my responsibility to make sure everything that I need to make sure that I keep this relationship going, I do, because it's nobody else's fault but yours, right? We are parents, we have kids. So also another example that I use to get to people is, hey, when your kid is out doing, you have a minor and they're doing something that you, the parent, don't know anything about. When child protective service or social services come, whose responsibility is it? It's you
Mhm.
as the parent's responsibility. So as gun owners, it is our responsibility to ensure that we are teaching the safety. It is my job to make sure my son, my daughters know the safety and everything aspect of a firearm. It is not my son's friends or my neighbor. It is not their duty to teach my son. So when my son leaves the house and he goes to his friend's house and his friends start playing with his dance gun, my son knows to walk out of the house. Safety, just like charity, begins at home. We need to keep harping on that, right? We need to keep harping on safety, safety, safety. That's the only way we can keep the relationship with firearms going. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I advise everybody to have an understanding of it.
Mhm.
It's not, it's a
Yes.
tool that we can use for protection, not to be afraid of. So,
I agree. Because, so many times people, go against the pro-gun rule. And I understand that a lot of people have been through circumstances or situations that may have made them feel that way. But I've always been one for pro-protection of your family. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing too, in having it, you have to make sure that your family is safe and you have to make sure that everyone knows the safety precautions of it because unfortunately, as we know, the people out there that are committing the crimes that are more likely to hurt you are not the registered gun owners. So that's why I like your business and I really am fond of your business because you make sure that everyone's trained properly, but they're also registered properly, to be able to do this legally.
because, yeah, what I always tell people is the law is what always gets us, right? So
Hmm.
you as a law-abiding citizen will get up and say, "Hey, I want to buy a gun," and you
Hmm.
go and let's say you go to a gun show, you see a gun, you pay for it. What we do in classes, we are advising you to follow. Do not cut corners, because it's not worth it. When you cut
Hmm.
corners and something happens, let's say I go out, I see a nice gun, I buy it illegally, not the proper way. I bring it home, and then me defending my family, my loved ones' life, and defending their honor, I
Hmm.
get locked up quicker than they're gonna bury the individual that came in to
Yes.
hurt my loved one, cause I skipped a step. I didn't go the right channel. So what we do in classes, we go by step by step, like in our HQL class. This is what you
Mhm.
need in the state of Maryland, period, to buy a handgun. This is what you need. So you're within the law, you're within the boundary. I always use the example as I play sports. I play soccer, so we got that long field. You're within it. If I don't headbutt anybody, if I don't slide tackle anybody, if I don't hit anybody when I'm not supposed to hit them, or even if I don't kick the ball out of bounds, the referee is not gonna step in and blow the whistle and decide what direction the ball should go in. It's the
Right.
same thing coming when it comes to guns, when it comes to when it comes to firearms. When you stay within the rules that is set, when you stay within the lines, the guidelines that is set, nobody is going to come to your house and say, "Hey, Mr. Josiah, you cannot own a gun today." Because I didn't, if I'm staying within the context of what I'm supposed to do not be a domestic abuser, don't beat my wife up, Or vice versa. Women, don't beat your husbands up and expect that you're gonna have a gun in the house. Don't drink and get drunk and do ignorant and belligerent stuff and
Mhm.
expect to have that safety that you brought in the house to be there.
That's right.
No, no, I'm saying no government official is sitting there waiting to take your firearm. But the moment you allow them to come in, a third party will come in and say, hey, this relationship that you have with your firearm, cease. Whose fault is it? Whose responsibility is it? You only have yourself to blame. So I advise all my students to stay within the context of stay within the boundaries that is set. Do not step out of bounds because once you step out of bounds, somebody got to step in and decide what direction is going in, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Well, you've definitely given us a lot of information that I hope everyone viewing this video takes seriously because it is a serious situation. And it's a situation that if, viewers, if you don't have the proper training, if you don't know how to, handle the firearm, if you don't have your qualifications, if you don't know CPR, please reach out to Ingenuity Security Solutions because I will tell you this from personal experience that they're a very professional company and they definitely know what they're doing. So Ishmael, I have another question for you. You've pretty much told us a lot of information in terms of, how you would like to move forward in educating the community. But if you could expand on how you would like for Ingenuity Security Solutions to inspire and educate the community further, I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right. So given the climate that we live in, or given what we have, to be honest, we are facing COVID situation, and so a lot of our interactions are limited. So there's so many students that keep asking, "Hey, do you offer virtual classes?" Yes. Coming next week, we're gonna start offering virtual classes, and please follow our social media platform. I'm on Facebook as Ingenuity Security Solutions LLC. I'm on Instagram as Ingenuity SS LLC. We're going to post virtual classes once they are up, so we can accommodate everybody. For those that can come and sit in a classroom, we can accommodate them too. So we will have the virtual class where you complete everything. And then once you come out to shoot, we will spend an hour going over everything that you went over. Make sure we answer all your questions. And yeah, every question that you have, we're going to do our best to answer them. And then we'll get you on the range to get you qualified. Yeah. Knowledge, education is always the key. And the lack of it is what gets a lot of us in trouble. So
Yes.
our goal is to have less ignorant people, and our goal is to also have less careless people, because there are a lot of people that have been handling firearms for a long time. But the moment they decide to start cheating safety, start taking shortcuts, that's when accidents happen. So our goal is to help both people that are ignorant. They're ignorant because they're not dumb or whatever. They just don't know.
Hmm.
So our goal is to educate them, to bring them to the side where they are educated and now they know. If you know better, you do better, right?
Yes.
And for those that are careless, our job is to just redirect them to
Hmm.
the safety, redirect them to what it is that they're working with. Because firearms, to be honest, is not a toy. So when it comes to conversation with your kids, hey, son, daughter, we have a gun in the house. It's not a toy. It kills, it destroys. But another thing that it does is it brings protection, and that's what we need it for in this house,
Yes. I
right?
agree.
Once you've already laid out, yes, it's ugly. It got the ugly side to it, but it also has a beauty side to it, and the peace of mind that it brings to me and my house outweighs the ugliness that is shown. So educate, 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 and we're here. We're here for it. So if you need it, we can do it in a classroom setting, or you can get a whole bunch of your family members together in your house, and I can travel to you. One of my instructors will travel to you, and we can make sure you're taken care of and you're accommodated. You know, Our job is to make sure we're doing it in a fun atmosphere, and also in the atmosphere where feel comfortable to be yourself and to ask questions, so that when we leave you, we're leaving you in better state, right? Better state of understanding, better state of you being ready and equipped to handle your firearm should the time come. And if you're not ready to equip it as you want to, our number is 240-685-8235. Call us. We will pick up and we will have somebody ready for you. If you're not ready to buy a gun yet, we have options that you can shoot through until you feel comfortable. So whatever you need, we're here for your CPR, handgun, security needs. We're here for it. I hope I answered your question, Marie.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, you did. Thank you for that. And just in listening to you, it brings back a few memories. Majority of our family members were military and law enforcement, but learning and knowing how to properly, utilize, firearms in general has led a lot of young people to become law enforcement officers, that to be able to protect and serve the community as you have. And we thank you for your service, most definitely. So that makes a difference in learning properly how to do that, because then it gives you also an opportunity to delve into other, professional means of law enforcement, the military, and so forth, to be able to protect and serve the community and the country. What is the main message you would like the listeners to take away from this interview? We talked about, the safety precautions. We've talked about definitely learning how to, protect your family, whether it be by, firearm means or by CPR. But what is the main message you want everyone to take away from today's interview?
Today's interview, for the main one, the main message that I want people to take from this interview is safety. Safety, safety, safety. Safety is key. Safety, the moment you cheat safety, you're not cheating just safety, but you're cheating yourself. So let's not cut corners. It don't cost nothing to be safe. For me, it don't cost me anything for me to, anytime I touch a gun, to clear it. It don't cost me anything to look around. It don't cost me anything to make sure that I'm staying proficient in what I need to. If it is watching YouTube or reading up on stuff, it don't cost you anything to learn. So safety is key, and also educate yourself, because knowledge is power. You can do everything the right way, but if you don't follow the proper way that is set by the state and the jurisdiction that you live in, you can be right till the sky turns gray. But in the state that you live in, if you don't know the laws, you're wrong and you're getting your freedom taken. So safety is key, and just knowledge is power. So let's stay safe. Let's educate ourselves, and let's be safe. Wonderful. I like how I say safe like 6 times.
But I like that too, because you're reiterating it.
How much I love safety.
Look at how important safety is.
Thank you.
So, and again, you mentioned briefly how anyone can reach out to you, but if they missed that, what are some different ways they can reach out to you via email and via phone? If you could let us know again.
Cool. So we can be reached first, and you can check our website, ingenuitysecurity.solutions.com. You can also reach us on Facebook at Ingenuity Security Solutions LLC on Facebook. On Instagram, you can reach us at Ingenuity SS LLC on Instagram. So everything that we do is posted directly on our Instagram and our Facebook page, which is connected to our website. So, and our phone number is 240-685. Let me make sure I give you the right phone number. 240-685-8235. 240-685-8235. And our email is ingenuityssllc@gmail.com. Call us, email us, Facebook message us, direct message us, tag us, whatever you need. We will answer you, and we will get somebody there to answer your need. It don't matter if you have one person, two people, we will be there. And we will do it with honor, commitment, and integrity.
Thank you so much, Ishmael. It has been such a pleasure having you on our show, and we look forward to getting you back soon. So, guests, please reach out to Ishmael at Ingenuity Security Solutions LLC. You will be very happy that you did. So, thank you, everyone, for joining us today on the show, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marie, for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time, sir. And thanks again for serving our community.
You're welcome.